Hi, this is Dr. Harris Jensen, and recently a person I'm working with was frustrated that he kept emotionally getting incredibly upset any time somebody even disagreed with him in the smallest way. It was causing problems, it was making it hard to have romantic relationships, or in sometimes some situations get along with friends. They felt like he was hard to talk to because they had to walk on eggshells for fear they might say something he disagreed with, or he might disagree with them, and he would get so emotional. Problems like this have been known for thousands of years. The ancient Stoics talked about this. Writers such as Seneca, Cicero, and Marcus Aurelius talk about how we all have to cultivate the skill of being agreeable and patient and tolerant. The Emperor Marcus Aurelius even tolerated people making fun of him in public plays that were performed in Rome. How's that for patience? So how did they do that? Well, you're not born patient and tolerant. You cultivate that. First, set that as a goal. And this is cognitive behavior therapy. Assert yourself that you can think things through, you can learn new skills, and then do daily homework. That's the definition of homework that works, is when it's daily and it's focused on your goal, such as cultivating patience every day by looking for something you disagree with and then stopping thinking about it. You don't have to think about something all day long that you disagree with. Or another exercise might be look for something you disagree with, but find one thing that you do agree with in that larger topic. And so if you're doing homework every day to become patient and tolerant, your patience and tolerance, your mental toughness, your mental resilience will get better and better and better, because you're teaching your emotional mind. What do I mean about your emotional mind? Well, psychologists talk about our emotions can quickly fly off the handle and go to extremes, regardless of what your rational thinking is. But when we integrate our reason and our emotions together, that's the wise mind. Now you're focused on what's wise. Is it wise to get upset when people disagree with you? Is it wise for you to disagree with other people and then get upset when they don't agree with you? Well, it may feel like it makes a lot of sense because of, this is a big political issue or a religious issue or a money issue. But wisdom focuses on, is this really going to play out in the long run? Is this good for us as a couple to keep making a big deal about this topic? Is this good for us as a family to get all worked up over religion or politics or money? And so now you're looking at what are the long-term consequences. It may feel right, but it might cause parents to be alienated from their children. It might cause people to be alienated from their friends. It might cause people to get alienated from their spouses and get a divorce. And what have you accomplished? Maybe nothing, except adding to the suffering in this world. But if you're not asking, is this wise, you won't come to that conclusion. And so asking what's wise is a technique in dialectic behavior therapy, which is a very well thought out, systematic counseling approach for dealing with anger. And it's based on the wisdom teachings that are in Buddhism and Stoicism. So this is just one example of an anger management technique, that of cultivating acceptance and accepting you can't always get your way, you can't always get what you want, and things don't always work according to your ideas. If you can't accept that, you're going to be unhappy the rest of your life. But if you can accept that, you're going to have more peace of mind. And maybe in the long run, you will be able to affect some change on some topic, but in a more subtle, roundabout way, perhaps. So when I was growing up, I thought the worst thing in the world was people draining wetlands. It was ruining homes for birds, and that was the worst thing ever. My mom wouldn't say, I think that's crazy. When wetlands are drained, the water just goes downstream to where ducks can use it in another pond or lake or river. It's not some catastrophe. Birds can also fly to other places and nest. So it's not a catastrophe. But she, rather than being confrontational, hey, you're not making any sense, she said, well, it seems like you're going to a little bit of an extreme. What do you mean? Well, it just seems kind of extreme. Like if somebody drains a wetland, it's a disaster. I said, well, that's just the way it is. But over time, that subtle approach of her just being observing and not confrontational helped me see that, in fact, I think I was going to a little bit of an extreme and I needed to back off. And maybe I had those beliefs or feelings, but it didn't mean I need to share it with everybody within earshot. And so my mom taught me to not go to extremes. The Stoics idealized a saying called moderation in all things. And that's, so basically my mom was acting like a Stoic, seeking moderation and kind of downplaying when people go to extremes. Nowadays, that will probably get you nowhere with a lot of folks, but you can talk to yourself that way if you feel inclined, oh, I need to go to an extreme on this certain issue, whatever it is. You can reel that in and say, I wonder if going to extremes, even though it feels right, it might be like crossing a line. I wonder if there's less extreme ways of thinking about this. And this can all be in your internal self-talk, but then you can reel in these thoughts that come from our emotional mind that aren't held in check. They aren't judged by, does this make sense? Is this what other people believe? Is this what you see in your experience? Do the facts for and against this issue weigh on the case of it being reasonable? So these are ways of scrutinizing certain thoughts or feelings you might have that go to extremes. And then you might change them. Hey, this feels right, but maybe there's something that squares a little bit better with the facts. And the Stoics were fond of kind of mulling things over before coming to a final judgment. And so they were practicing strategies that they knew in their experience really helped them have more peace of mind, cultivated feelings of friendship, of community. They were focused on what's good for us as a family, what's good for us as a community, what's good for us in our culture, not me, I want what I want. So these are some ideas on developing moderation and patience, tolerance, which can help for anger management, and also just accepting that, if some people don't agree with what you do, that's okay. Take care.